Welcome to episode 4 of Talking About, a comms and learning podcast that explores the fascinating world of Sky. In this episode, we explore the role sports plays in our content lineup and discuss how CSG play their part in bringing the value of Sky Sports to our customers. Today, we're joined with Selina and Georgie.
Hello.
How are we?
Good.
Great.
Yes, very well.
Before we start any episode, we start off with a little icebreaker. The icebreaker question is, what is your go-to karaoke song? And I think we're going to, deal us the left. So we're going to start with yourself, Selina.
I have this question's brought up some PTSD for me, I'll be honest. I've done one karaoke in my life. I started with R. Kelly, If I Could Turn Back the Hands of Time. It didn't go well.
Strong.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a great song if you can sing. But yeah,
Don't know if we're allowed to listen to him anymore. I feel controversial just saying his name. But song was good. Anyway.
So my go-to is "Wannabe" by the Spice Girls.
Yeah.
I show my age, but I was Spice Girls obsessed when I was younger.
Yeah.
Did see them when they reformed in Wembley in London a couple of years ago, in my top 10 highlights of my life. And I feel that it's quite apt because Sporty Spice was always my favourite, and we're talking about sport today. So I felt that was a nice link.
I look, it does. It links right in. Why was that concert? The Sky Girls concert. How was it?
How was the concert?
Yeah.
How was the concert? I want to say really good, and I think it was nostalgic, but I mean Victoria wasn't there, and she is a big part of it. And
oh, really?
but I mean Victoria Beckham is not going to go back into the Spice Girls.
why not?
But that sort of just ruins the whole purpose. It's like you can't have the
She's
main.
bigger than the Spice Girls now. She's Victoria Beckham.
Yeah.
And I also don't think she can at all sing.
But that's like a Nicole Scherzinger not showing up to a Pussycat Dolls concert.
Well, yeah.
It
I
just
get what you're saying.
defeats the purpose.
I get what you're saying. But it was good. I was there with my mum, so it was fun. But I don't think they should do another one.
So before we talk about Sky Sports, we just need to know a little bit more about yourselves and what you do at Sky. So with Selina, can you just tell us a little bit about your job and what that entails?
Yeah, so I work in the sales department. Been working in upgrades for 12 years. So a long time. We're first line. We're gonna have to start that again, surely.
No, that was great.
So we're first point of call.
Yeah.
We're who the customers would speak to straight away, and it's all about having a conversation with people, getting to know them, getting into their world, and knowing their wants and likes.
Yeah, so you're one of those people that know the customers pretty well, speaking to them day in and day
categorise
out.
them very quickly. No, I'm joking.
No, I can understand that. And Georgie, what about yourself? Tell us a
Hello.
little bit about your role.
Yes, I'm a creative manager. So I'm a creative manager in a Sky's creative studio, which we are kind of like a mini creative studio that work for CSG. So like CSG are our customers and our clients. And we do all sorts. We do podcasts. We do the Hall of Fame events. We help set that up. We do Time to Learn. So no day is the same. It's madness most of the time, which is absolutely fantastic. That's what I love about it. But I'm quite new to Sky. I've only been here. I've just hit my 6-month anniversary.
Already?
Yeah.
It feels like time just flies.
I know. It's weird.
Yeah.
I feel like I've just had like one long sleep. I've been here the whole time. It's really strange. But yeah, it's good.
So let's get into a little bit about sports and what you're excited to see this year. So what sports are you excited to see in 2024? And what would you recommend our listeners make sure they watch? Anything in particular, Selina?
The home of the Premier League is what Sky Sports says to me. It screams it every time. I mean, like, I'm a big football fan, although I love sports as a rule. That's where I find my best conversations come from, just because it's so exciting.
Yeah.
And the fact that following, from next season, which is what really matters to me as a Chelsea fan.
Sorry to hear.
Next season. I sound like an Arsenal fan, right? Next season. No, but so next season I'm hoping it'll be stronger, and the fact that we're gonna have 215 games.
Oh, what, a Sky?
Yeah.
What's it usually, isn't it?
116.
Oh, no way. So they've gone up
Oh, no,
quite
190.
dramatically.
Oh my goodness. How
It's
are you
been
actually
going
going
up.
to fit that into your life? Because that is a lot of games.
It's not enough.
I mean,
not enough.
that
There is a really dull moment between May and August in my life. I mean, I suppose it's good that it happens because I do
Yeah.
get to see some sunlight.
Yeah, a bit of
during
a
that
rest.
period.
Yeah.
That 1 week of sun that we get, lap that up.
Any other sports that you would watch through that period? Like once it does get quiet
I
for football?
never thought I would be someone to watch the darts, but this year the darts, I don't
We're
know.
all darts fans, aren't we?
It's I think everyone's turned into a dance fan
Thursday
after.
nights in my house now is darts nights.
Yeah.
Like, it is big. We love it.
It's after the 16-year-old kid. What was his name?
Littler.
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 He's come and
Duke the nuke.
hit the scene with a major one, wasn't he? And is he still winning?
Yeah,
I don't follow it really.
well, he didn't do very well last week, actually.
No.
He didn't do well, but he's I mean, he's also like what, 16? I feel like we can't be too harsh.
No. Well,
Yeah.
once you're in the game,
Yeah.
you gotta
true.
be. You're open for criticism once you're under the spotlight. And what about yourself, Georgie?
Well, we were talking a bit beforehand. I'm definitely one of those people who can just watch anything. Like, it's probably actually a bit of a character flaw, if I'm honest. If it's on and it's sport, I will watch it, and that's why Sky is so great, because it just covers so many different sports. What I'm most looking forward to, I think, the F1. That's going to be a good season. Obviously, with Lewis's big news, like, that's see what that does. I know he'll have this one last season with McLaren, but like, oh, it's going to be orcs in the pits, isn't it? It's going to be awkward. So that's exciting. Obviously, Sky has great coverage with that too, so it's quite a comfortable watch. You're not having to like channel hop or try and find it on the internet or anything. So like, that's just a luxury. I'm intrigued about the new tennis channel. I think that will be good. I mean, am I a huge tennis fan? I watch Wimbledon as a true Brit. You know, I think we all have to. It's
Wimbledon's
like-
always good though, right?
Yeah, but I think you're kind of like have to when it's on. You're like, okay, Wimbledon's on. But I think it will be nice to see all the other big tournaments that actually get some good coverage over it. Because tennis at the minute, you know, it's changing of the guard. All the kind of big older players are retiring, kind of not in that. Oh, sorry.
I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
They're kind of retiring, so it's that. Oh, who's coming through? Who's going to be the next superstar? So I think it's a good time to like start watching it.
Agreed. I think I might give it a go. I need to give more sports a go, I reckon. I'm like boxing only, and then after that, maybe a little bit of football here, maybe a little bit of American sports, NFL.
Do you know what's really good?
Yeah.
Friday nights they play the netball.
Okay.
So, okay, hear me out. I played netball at school.
Yeah.
Not a massive fan.
Yeah.
But I've started watching it because my soon-to-be sister-in-law is a big netball fan, and it's so quick. It's the quickest sport I've ever seen, and the scoreline is huge. So sometimes it's like 53-51.
And how much is a point? How does that work? One
goal.
point.
Yeah, but it's
You don't
just
get like
so
2
quick.
pointers if you shoot outside the.
No,
So it's not as cool as basketball.
it's different to basketball. I wouldn't say it's the same.
No,
but
there's no backboard.
But- and they
It's
do
definitely not the
quarters.
same.
it's quarters, so it's like quite a.
Yeah, the same.
quarter.
That's all Americans. No, it's not American sports
No.
though, is it? No.
It's not American.
Yeah, but a lot of American sports are quarters. Even like NFL's quarter. I don't know what baseball's rules are.
Baseball's like
Rounders.
5 hours.
It's might as well be.
Baseball's like a whole day of watching.
Is it?
It's really
Well,
good.
so is cricket.
True.
You're a cricket fan. You looking forward to cricket this year?
Always.
Is there any major tournaments coming up this year?
Is there? I feel like we've just had.
Had the World Cup, right?
World Cup.
Yeah.
In India.
Yeah. Was that the 2020 or the 50 over World Cup?
50.
Yeah. So when's the 2020 then? Isn't it that?
You're testing me now.
Okay.
I'm not sure. When's the Ashes? That's.
Every year.
Ashes every year.
But is it here or there? In Australia, I think must be. It's in Australia this year. The Ashes.
Well, if it is here, we will get every single game anyway. So
Yeah,
it
that's
doesn't
true.
actually. It doesn't matter.
You can feel like you're in the sun.
Sky Sports has got every single England cricket match.
That is very good.
It's amazing.
I was quite lucky last summer. I saw the Ashes at Edgbaston. I went to see a day of it, and I got to see. I don't know if you know the ball that Stuart Broad did, where he like whipped up the crowd into a frenzy, and then bowled this quite good Australian out, and I've never seen a cricket crowd go
It's
as
so
mental
mad.
as that. It was like,
That's wicked. So what?
it was
Before he
really,
bowled, he got everyone
yeah,
riled up, and then
yeah.
he bowled him out.
So he like has a big long run, and
Yeah.
he was like doing that. He was like really
Yeah.
like winding the crowd up, and
Yeah.
I was like, I'm immediately invested. Let's
Yeah,
go,
yeah.
let's go.
That
And
is
he-
one
yeah,
scene he's gonna
I know.
remember.
And he like ran round the whole ground. And we were like, yeah, fair
You
enough.
deserve that
You
one. You
deserve
deserve that. Do you play any sports? And if not, which sports would you like to play if you could?
When I was younger, I used to love playing football. There was no structure to it. It was just kind of chasing the ball from one end to the other. So it wasn't quite as organised as what you see on in the Premier League or or anything close. But at the same time, it was a lot of fun, and I would probably choose that as my sport, only because I love it so much. I understand the offside rule. That's like a big thing. When you're a woman and you know the offside rule, you're winning. So I knew. Yeah, I think that would be my sport. Second would be snooker.
Really? Do
Yeah,
you play now?
yeah, yeah. I reckon.
Pool or snooker?
I play pool more, but I
Yeah.
can play snooker.
Yeah.
I prefer pool.
It's quicker, isn't it?
Actually, but if it was a sport, I'd want to take on Ronnie.
Yeah, I do like pool. Pool's the game. Snooker's a bit of a long-winded one, so I've played it quite a lot, but in the
That
past,
to me is American.
Riley's
isn't it?
was the place for snooker, but it just takes so long, and you have to be skilled for snooker. Whereas pool, you can show off a little bit. They have,
Yeah.
like, half a bit of skill.
You
You
showboat.
can
As
take-
long as you get the same
showboat a
colour.
little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rules are simple.
I'm always like, am I red or like what? I'm terrible at both.
And Georgie, what about you? Do you play any sports? Firstly,
Yes, so I play hockey. I've played it since I was very, very little. Do I regret choosing it as my sport? Sometimes, because I'm quite tall and my back is in pieces now, and I'm not that old, so I don't know how many more years I've got left of it. But yeah, so I do love it though, and I think now just the social side of it, seeing my friends guaranteed like 3 times a week and getting out some fresh air and all of that good stuff, like I do think is really good for me. But I've recently started swimming. So I used to, like, when I was very young, do kind of like competitive swimming, but I've started again just to it's a bit more gentle on the body, like in the water. So that's quite nice. So I think
yeah, I like swimming. Well, I don't like it. I like getting in a pool. I'm not a great swimmer, right? But I do think I've got this new thing, right? I feel like you should learn all the skills that you need to survive. Swimming is one of them. So I really do want to learn how to swim good.
yeah,
Like, I can swim, but it's pretty atrocious, man. Like,
Yeah.
got about 10, 20 seconds in the tank, and then
I think for a country that is an island, we're
Yeah.
really, really bad at teaching our young people how to swim. Like, it's not a
Cold,
priority. But if you go to Australia, it's like on their radar so much more than
Yeah.
us, and it's like a lesson within schools, like all the way up through their schooling.
But did you not get that when you was a kid? You did not have swimming? Because I did until maybe the age of maybe like what, year 5 maybe?
Yeah, but then
And
nothing.
then
Yeah.
after that pretty much died off. Actually, our high school had a swimming pool, like an outdoor swimming pool. But when in high school,
We
no
had
one
that
wants
as well.
to go swimming outside while everyone's watching from the playground. So it's like, I think everyone tried to avoid swimming as much as they could.
Yeah, it was
And now
so
I sort of
cool.
regret it.
Yeah, it's cold here. It makes it difficult.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. If I lived in Australia, I'd be in a pool all the time. I'd be a mermaid. You know, I'd
I wouldn't be in the
Oh,
sea
wow.
though, because of the sharks. Obviously, they'd get you in Australia.
Well, they would, but they don't come to that close, do they?
I think if you're in the sea in Australia, if you just make sure there's someone a bit further out than you, the shark's
So
gonna get that person.
push you out,
first.
Georgie, yeah?
Yeah, I'll take one for the team. Be like, don't worry, guys. You all learn to swim. I'll fend off the sharks.
I'll distract them, guys. Push Georgie.
So how can we support each other around the business and in comms and learning to make sure we share the value of Sky Sports with our customers? So what can we do?
I think you do an amazing job already. I think advertisement and just showing the value behind what you're spending. I think if you love sports, you see the value behind having sports. And I think marketing, all of those guys, they do an incredible job with letting people know exactly why we are the home of sport. So I think what's been happening is perfect. The fact that we've had so much investment into even more content coming next year, and having the darts like we discussed earlier, having that, and just having new content, fresh content, always looking for um, the next the next big thing, and there's always something to watch on the main event.
Hmm.
And honestly, I couldn't say that there's any other area that you need to push on, because it's all kind of coming together so nicely. The only thing I wish we had was the Champions League, but I don't know. Am I even allowed to say that? I wish we had that.
No, I think that's a fair
I wish
analysis.
we had the Champions League. But other than that, the fact that you get the final for free anyway.
Yeah, that's the main one. That's the main one.
Yeah.
Well, you got BT Sport anyway. Stop it.
TNT,
And
TNT.
what about yourself? Oh yeah, it's changed now, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
Sorry.
TNT.
And what about yourself, Georgie?
So I think for me, sport's a funny one because, like you said, if you love it, it feels almost like an innate thing to be across and
Mm.
aware.
Mhm.
So I think what I love is when people just talk to me about sports that they're really passionate about. So like for yourself, like you,
Yeah.
I know you really like boxing and you're kind of
Yeah.
across it, and I get a lot of value about when we're in the office and you're just having a conversation about it, and I'm like learning from you, like learning through
Yeah.
your passions, and then I'm like, oh, I didn't even know, that was happening, or that like the kind of competitions that were going on, or the backstories, because I'm such a like sports films, don't get me started, like I love a backstory about someone. So I think that is really powerful. So I would just say if we can all kind of champion our sports a bit more, so like talk about things that you really love, talk about things that you're passionate about, just day to day. I mean, don't preach, but almost, like just
Yeah.
because I think people are interested.
Someone like yourself who's actually quite new in the business as well, you sort of would have seen it from the outside as
Yeah.
well, thinking, you know what, I'm assuming you watched Sky Sports before
Mhm.
you came to Sky,
Yeah.
and now you're inside of it. Do you see like a difference of how the business works, or what you think they could do differently?
I think it's obviously a machine. I mean, Sky Sports
Mm.
is huge, isn't it? And I think as a customer, you're aware of that. Like you were saying, what we have to
Mm.
offer is massive, and you can't quite comprehend how they do it. Like with all the different channels, all the different kind of things available for people to watch. But I think since just kind of coming behind the curtain, I think the creative that they make is really
Mhm.
good. So like the tennis one that we've recently just seen. So like with all those tennis balls like coming down the hill, I
Yeah.
think as a customer you're like, oh, that's nice. But then when you're inside Sky and you see all the different touch points, how big it is, how much time was made with that
Yeah.
one advert, and then how we use it within CSG. So how we take that messaging and everything that they're doing within Sky Sports and use it for our customers. Like it's quite amazing. And I think as a sports fan and a
Mm.
bit of a sports geek, it's just you kind of nerd out on it. It's quite
Yeah.
nice to see things first and
Yeah.
to see like what's happening and what our customers are going to be getting. Like it is exciting.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I feel like Sky's, I don't know who's behind it entirely, and I imagine it's quite a massive team. But they're so intuitive in terms of what is really big and what people want to watch. And I don't know how it's done sometimes, but like I said, I never thought I'd be into the darts.
Yeah.
And the fact that the whole country was taken by storm, really. And even down to the tennis, the fact that if you like sports, all the big stuff is going to be available through a Sky platform,
Yeah.
undoubtedly.
Yeah, I think second to none. When it comes to
Yeah.
sports skies, there's no one that really can touch Sky's level of sports globally. I would argue globally.
Yeah.
No one can touch Sky's level of sports. I find that I learn the most about sports 'cause I'm not a massive sports buff. I enjoy playing it more than I do watching it.
Right.
But what I do learn the most is like stuff like the experientials and stuff we do. That's where I feel like I tend to learn the most. If we come to contact center and then we done like the F1 yesterday or the tennis a few weeks before, I didn't really I learned more about the sports just by doing that stuff. I was never watched F1. I've never really understood the hype in it, but now I'm like, I want to watch F1.
Yeah.
I sort of enjoy it. And playing the simulator didn't beat Ali, but it was done a good. I beat Aaron, so that's the main thing. And Sam didn't get to have a go, sadly.
And
Um,
he beat me.
a little bit about yourself, Selina, because you're on the customer front line.
Right.
So, what are some of the common objectives you hear from customers, and how do you overcome those when it comes to was it sports? Or what are the things you sort of hear?
So I think when it comes to sports, if you are a sports fan, it sells itself. It really does because, like I mentioned, it's when there's something about the team that's kind of working behind this with, um, just knowing what people want to watch, and
Mm,
when you put on the main event, and that channel in particular, that the biggest thing that day is on that channel. And that's also available in ultra high definition on the main event. So
yeah,
that's also another just a screaming factor. If you want to watch sports, and you want the best events and you want the best games, it's Sky you switch on to. So I don't think there's much I need to argue the point for, because it speaks for
yeah.
itself.
Can I ask you a question off that?
Yeah.
So if you're talking to a customer and they're like, and you say, do you want Sky Sports in your package?
Mm.
And they're like, oh, like kind of sports fan. And they're like not like a super fan because I
Yeah.
think like you said, if you love sports, it's like a no-brainer. But if you
Yeah.
ever have to kind of like upsell it or try and persuade people, what's
Yeah.
your kind of go-to
I think
line?
I think people will always spend money where they see a value,
Right.
right? And it if you find a value behind something, you are gonna want that sport. And sometimes it's about exploring what customers know about Sky Sports. And if they are just a marginal sports fan, okay, but what sports do you enjoy watching? And
Yeah.
it's about tapping into what they would see value in. There's no good in me going on about how amazing the Premier League channel is if the person doesn't enjoy watching the Premier League. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, it's all well and good. If you're into tennis, then that's what you need to home in on. And a bit like you said, Kieran, I don't know massive amounts of sports outside of football. And sometimes I rely on my customer educating me, and them being excited about it will bring the excitement out in me,
Yeah.
and that makes it easy for me to sell. So it's not that it's you know um, overly difficult once you have a conversation. It's just about hearing the excitement in their voice, and that's when that's
I think your point on value is so valid because I'm just thinking about like when I was younger,
Mm.
my grandparents had Sky, and I remember thinking, oh my god, that's like the coolest thing ever. They've got
Mm.
Sky TV. So whenever we'd get kind of shipped to their house when my parents had enough of us, we'd be like, it's fine, they've got Sky, like we could watch. And I can just remember thinking anything.
Yeah.
It just felt like so endless.
Yeah.
And I think even now, when especially with sport, I love just flicking through the sports channels and seeing the weirdest sport I can find. So like downhill motocross, like rally riding, and I'm like, I'm gonna watch this for an hour. Like definitely, I love that about it as well. Like it has all the big, like blockbuster sports things, but also it has the kind of niche. Oh, I didn't even know that was a sport.
Yeah,
Like,
I've
oh, okay,
worked
I'm
that
gonna
as well.
watch like cross country skiing now. It's winter, obviously. So like, just I love that about it.
Yeah.
It is entertaining.
It's one of those sorts of one of those things though. As soon as you start watching it, even if you've never seen it before, I found it with the. I'm not a massive Olympics fan, right? But once it's on, I can't take my eyes off it. It's like
Yeah.
everything is so fascinating. But these people are so talented, especially when you see these young guys and women, and they're doing all these acrobatic flips in the gymnast stuff. I just don't how people's bodies move. It amazes me.
I am an Olympics super fan.
Oh yeah.
So hopefully Sky will get the rights for that one day because like I am setting my alarm to watch the opening ceremony, even if it's on like in the middle of the night. Like it's big, counting down the 4 years.
But doesn't it have to be free?
Yeah.
The Olympics. Yeah.
Because obviously as I mentioned earlier, I play hockey. The Olympics is like probably the only time that hockey is shown on the TV in like a consistent way.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's kind of like
Yeah.
it's our moment to watch the sport that we play. That's a plug for Sky, by the way. Please get hockey on Sky Sports. That'd be great. Thank you.
Is there a hockey channel or is there no such
no,
thing?
no.
But do they do streaming of hockey anywhere at all?
You can get it. Sometimes through
Mm.
the BBC. I shouldn't say that, but like sometimes through that, and then
What was
like
Eurosports? and stuff?
Eurosports, like
Yeah.
online sometimes, but there's no
Yeah.
like consistent following of the league, following of it as a sport anywhere, which is frustrating.
As when you speak to your customers, do you find that customers respond differently depending on the sports? If we've lost any sports or if there's any new sports come in, how do you handle those sort of conversations?
That's a tough one, Kieran.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. How would I?
Because
I
what
don't,
have
I
we
don't think
lost
they were.
recently, or what has changed on Sky Sports? So what? We
I
can
think
look.
Soccer AM.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think you're subscribing specifically for Soccer AM. No
yeah,
one's like, I'm only getting the Sky Sports channel for Soccer AM. That's not it. But I do find that that's kind of like a missed program.
yeah,
Um, I but I haven't really had any issues around that, to be
yeah,
honest. I think at one stage I know that when we lost the Bundesliga, but that's come back.
yeah,
We've got that back, so I think
yeah.
we're good.
So would you say it's pretty easy to talk to the customers about Sky Sports?
Yeah, I think we're gaining more than we're losing, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
That's good.
I know that Sky's works really, really hard, and again, it's just credit to whoever's working in the back there. Working really, really hard on kind of eliminating like repeats and programs that aren't being tapped into, and just making sure that there's something different to watch on each channel.
Yeah,
And whoever's behind that, thank you. As a
yeah,
sports fan, thank you. And I definitely feel that it makes my job a lot easier, because it's hard to justify watching the same thing on repeat. But when there's something different and there's dedicated channels towards sports and so on, I think it makes a big difference.
I just on that, like as a customer, as a fan, what I really love about Sky Sports is they've started to recently make each sport have its own like visual style, and I think we saw that a lot in the darts, especially. Like it, it looked like something, and I think to create buzz around a sport that really helps. So the creative that Sky Sports are doing alongside their just hard work getting the right sports in
yeah.
front of the right people, like is really working, and it makes it so much more
Yeah.
exciting.
Sky Sports creative's wicked. I
Yeah.
think that we can geek out about that a little bit as
Yeah.
creatives, but yeah, I do love the branding and each different one. And every time a new brand comes out, the tennis one's completely different to
Yeah.
F1. F1's got to be one of my favorite brands.
Yeah.
It just looks
And
so
I think
good.
it just makes you feel like, as a customer and as a viewer, that the sport that you love and want to watch
Yeah,
is valued. Like
yeah,
even Sky
yeah.
Sports thinks it's pretty cool because they've made this whole
But I guess it
visual
also
style
just
for it.
puts this element of class to it, right?
Mhm.
It's like, well, you know what you're paying for. This is a quality product, and
Yeah.
it just looks like quality down the board.
Yeah.
I think that's why Sky Sports does so well. Um, yeah, great channel. One thing one event of the year, right? If there's one sporting event of the year we show, and that you're looking forward to, what event will that be? Ooh, who wants to go first on that one?
One event.
I always love the last day of the season. Look, I know I keep talking about football. Georgie, you can handle every other sport, yeah.
Yeah.
But the last day of the season is just magic every year, because the Premier League is so competitive. There's, especially this season, there's like a matter of a couple of points between each team. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Liverpool's at the top at the moment. But Man City have a game in hand. There's exciting stuff going on in football right now, in the world of football. And the last that last day in May, amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
Who do you reckon's going to win this league?
Chelsea. No,
Not far off. Not far off.
no,
Yeah.
no, we're only 10th. We're only 10th. No, I think City. I think City are if they have the most consistent run now, I think it's just about consistency. It could be Liverpool, could be Arsenal. Honestly, I wouldn't even want to say a team this
It's
year.
tight for the top three, right?
In fact, no, I will say it's not going to be Arsenal. So
You better put your
shoot
money
off
where your
right.
mouth is there.
We've lost our viewers.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're going for Man City.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
City, but I think Liverpool as well, with Klopp going at the end. I think they've got a huge driving
That's what I
force
think as
behind
well.
them.
Yeah,
They've
definitely.
got
I
some wind
believe
in their
so.
sails, haven't they?
So the last day of the Premier League is the most is the event you're looking most forward to?
Not really an event, but it feels like an event to me.
Yeah, yeah. No, fair enough.
Yeah, it feels like it's always just a
Mhm.
really exciting day. There's heartbreak, there's tears of happiness, of sadness. It's just football, right? Drama, drama. EastEnders got nothing on Sky Sports.
Yeah. What about yourself, Georgie?
That's such a
Any?
hard question. I've been like racking my brain. I'm like, oh, that is good. And I was like, so I think I'm actually really looking forward to the Formula One. I don't know
I
if it's just
agree.
because of the hype that's been building here, but I'm like, oh, I'm on board. Like, I'm gonna watch it. I think if I had to like pick a race as like an actual event that I was looking forward to, I think the Singapore race is my favorite because I just love a night race and I think it just looks spectacular.
Oh, I can imagine.
It's-
I've never watched it, but I can imagine it looks so good.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And just the build up beforehand, I mean, like all the celebrities go to that one and it's like they're all just like waltzing around the pits in sunglasses and like the pitch black and it's just great. So that's fun. But then also the racing is really good. Like it's a cool track, a lot of overtaking, like just
Yeah.
it's always a good one. There's always a bit of like, ooh, carnage at that one.
Yeah.
So I think the Formula One and I think Sky are really across it. Like they're covering
Yeah.
all the days, so like it's a full weekend of watching. So I'm not going to be going anywhere for the F1 season.
But it is a long slog,
I'm
right?
gonna
It's
be
like
fine.
morning till. Because what time's Formula? How long's the actual
well,
run
so
time
you
of the
have
show?
like qualifying
Yeah.
on the whatever day, the day before, either the Friday or the Saturday,
Yeah.
and they have the race day. They also have the testing as well, which is so it's like 3 days really. I mean, I don't think I'll be able to get away with 3 days of watching. I think my partner will be like, "We need to do the big
Yeah.
shots." Like, come on. But yeah, I think it'll be really good.
Yeah. Do you tend to do anything around that period? So like, do you know get friends over, have a beer or whatever it is?
So I kind of got into Formula One because of my dad. My dad really likes it. So sometimes we'll watch it together. I'll kind of go to his or he'll come to me and we'll watch it together. I try. Do you know what? This is a really lame answer, but Formula One is a really good sport to watch while you're like doing your ironing. You can like kind of like watch it and do other things
Yeah.
because it does take a minute. But then I say that you'll blink and something massive will happen and you'll think, replay it. I need to see the rewind. Yeah, it's good.
All right, that's pretty much all the questions I had for you today. But we do want to, at the end of each podcast, the previous people leave a question for you guys to answer. So we got 2 questions for you to answer today. Which one to pick for? All right, 1 or 2?
One.
1. Okay. If there was a film made about your life, who would you choose to play and why?
Oof. Who- So I think if I wanted like a young version of me now, old version of me, like if they were doing a whole montage sequence, I think version of me now, I really like Jennifer Lawrence. I think she's cool. She's like cool babe.
Yeah, of course.
Older version of me, Dame Maggie Smith. Obviously quite a lot older, but just really like her as a person.
Hey, Maggie Smith.
If
Have
you're
to Google
googling who
Who dat?
Dame Maggie Smith is,
I'm a
Yeah.
face. do you know?
I'm gonna say it.
Dame
I'm absolutely shocked.
Maggie Smith.
Sounds like a dog, isn't it?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, great Dame Maggie Smith. And then like young baby Georgie. You know that girl that was in Game of Thrones who was like the sassy, like
Yes.
princess, well, not princess, but like she like owned
The
the
one that
land.
was in The Last of Us as well.
Yeah.
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 I can't remember her name, but yeah, she's good.
Mhm.
She's good.
I know you only asked one person, but I gave you a full answer.
No, that was a good answer to be
No,
fair.
that-
Got every
That is a
state
good
of her life.
answer,
I've
yeah.
obviously thought about this
She's
before.
like the baby that played the son in Teletubbies as a baby. Yeah.
Talk about it. You've seen the son now. It's a grown person,
Yeah,
right?
it's grown up. Like, working kids.
That was a great answer. Thank you.
Was-
Your one's actually a bit of a weirder question. What is your favourite colour of socks?
Black.
Oh, that was it. That was an easy one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Would you have socks that have the days of the week on,
Yes.
but black stuff?
Really?
I don't even care if they match.
You're saying you would wear one foot with that says Monday and one foot that says Thursday.
Yeah. If they pass the smell test, they're going on.
They're going on. Fair.
No, I'm joking.
I respect it.
Fair enough, yeah. Just a white sock person. My
I've
drawers are
worn
just white
today.
socks. White
I
socks.
do regret it.
Why?
I just think they're a bad choice. I don't know why I bought
Feel a
them.
bit off. Feel a bit off.
I just
with your
feel like
socks.
the moment you take them out your shoe, they're in danger of being stained for life.
True.
Yeah, that's why in the gym, all my socks, because I take my shoes off in the
Yeah.
gym when I'm squatting and
Mash
stuff.
up, yeah.
Mash up. Well, that is all, guys.
Awesome.
Thank you very much, Selina. Thank you very much, Georgie.
No
It's been a
worries.
pleasure, and see you guys next time.